Alright guys, now we're going to go through the seated crucifix cuff lateral raise, another great variation for those side delts. So we'll get Charlie to set up in that starting position now. If you have a look at these cable arms initially, we've set the width appropriate to where we want the challenge for him at that starting position. In terms of his hands and his wrists, you'll notice that they're sitting literally just above the initial line of that cable pulley, at least where the cable's coming from out of this pulley here. Now, from there, already in this position, we're already quite a significant challenge greater than, say, the laying cuff lateral variation. So Charlie's now going to go through the movement now. The way we almost have to think about this is we almost have to think about these separate arms as far as where that line of force is. So in this case, if we look from this angle, you'll see that this side delt here is opposing that line of force of the cable here. And that's really what we've got to think about, is if we were thinking about doing a standing dumbbell lateral raise, bring the arms down. So just lean forward for me, Charlie. So you imagine you were doing a lateral raise, it would be that kind of same arm path. It's the exact same thing, except all we're doing is we're back in that seated position. So it's just that same thought process, arms out in that scapular plane, arm just about 20-30 degrees in front of your torso, and then just think about abducting, so extending that shoulder wide and out. Now, a couple of mistakes people will make is they'll come up almost just to kind of shoulder height, and that's not really a full range challenge. We want to get that full elevation and really make sure we're getting into that fully shortened position. And slow down. Other things that people will do is that they'll almost make it too front raised. So now if we were doing a front delt raise, that might be a whole different story, but if we're trying to keep it medial delts, we want to make sure that we're thinking less about up and more about out to the side, in line with the cable there. One more. Alright, so last points to consider as far as execution goes is ensuring that we're not letting these cross over all the way at the bottom. Make sure that we're keeping these stoppers just apart from each other, contracting the side delts right at the start before we move, controlling that movement up, making sure that we're not jolting into that end range or bouncing. We make sure we land here soft and smooth, and then we're slowly coming out of that position. So really own those transitions at either end range. That's the seated crucifix lateral raise.